All right. Well, as Lou said, we do things pretty agile here, so I'm crossing my fingers that we'll see some slides switch over here in just one moment. There we are. Okay. So, and then the next thing is, does this clicker work? So, thank you for being here. By the way, the mobile app may have lied to you and sent you here. If you're looking for Heroku, it's over there. But please don't leave me. So I wanted to start off kind of continuing in this past, present, future theme that you saw from Lou this morning. As I talk about what's new and what we're launching today, you got to see some of those features from Lou's presentation and also where we're going. It really helps for me, as I was doing these slides and getting ready for this session, to understand what we've also done in the last year. And it's actually really meaningful to me because I joined New Relic just about a year ago. And as I was looking back, it was just amazing all the things we had done in such a short period of time. The metrics are phenomenal. We had just about 100 employees when I joined the company a year ago. I believe we're over 350 now. We had, I believe, less than 30,000 active customers. Today we have 70,000. Every number we look at is just growing massively and accelerating faster and faster. We had 0 FutureStacks last year. We've got 1 this year. It's amazing. We're really doing a lot here. So let's take a look. Hold on. Click. Aha. And, not so much for that. And let's look at some of these features we launched. So we started off with key transactions. That was one of the first projects I had a chance to work on. And some of you may already be familiar with this. It's been out for a little while, and it's been added to all the different languages that we support. Key transactions is an opportunity for you as a developer to focus in on the specific parts of your application that are more important than anything else. Obviously, the whole application matters, but there's some like, say, checkout, sign up, log in, that really, really matter, and they have special alert conditions and special importance to the business. And key transactions allowed you to go and identify those and specify the performance expectations, the apt_xt value, as well as the alert thresholds for error rates that you wanted to be alerted on. And with some new things we're doing today, they also allow you to focus who responds to them and not just your general ops team, but maybe specific engineers who know how to solve those problems. So that was a great feature. We're really happy to release that. But we didn't stop there. We added X-ray sessions on top of it. So once you went into an X-ray a key transaction, you could then initiate this X-ray session. We started with Python, and it let you actually capture every single transaction for that key transaction throughout the entire cluster of your application. So if you've got 10 web servers all running your application, you could get every single little event that your customers are going through, see the transaction trace of each one of those, see them broken down into histograms, but also go through, all right, we're jumping around. I don't know what's happening now. This thing's out of control. We're going through time. All right, well, I'll just read through these. I didn't press that button, I swear. The X-ray sessions capability was also great because it went ahead and did a full-blown thread profile on all of those machines and then aggregated up into one location, showing you the performance in a thread profile-like view of every line of code for that key transaction, and then packaged up in this nice, easy, shareable X-ray session that any customer could look at. Of course, you saw, as it spun by there, we, of course, launched an iPhone app earlier this year. It's a great app for when you're on the go to be able to pull up any performance data about applications, key transactions, servers, plugins from our new platform, as well as your own mobile applications that might be running New Relic. And of course, we went further beyond just having an interface to our product, but a whole mobile APM product that you saw Lou demo this morning. But it wasn't just about the really flashy things. We launched single sign-on support, which doesn't really do a lot. It's not in your face all the time. But for a lot of our large customers, and even some of our smaller ones, it was really important to them to be able to have that extra control over security. And so we were really happy to launch that with several partners in the single sign-on space, all built on top of the SAML specification. You're welcome to try it out. It's available for pro customers, and it's a really easy way to get started and get into New Relic. On the theme of more complicated environments, we also launched cross-application tracing. What you're seeing here is an application map of our own application that's taking advantage of this cross-application tracing capability. So basically pulling together all the individual services in our application environment and automatically discovering the connections between them as web services are being called back and forth. And it was a nice feature because all you had to do was upgrade to our newest agent when we released it, and voila, you got all this great new data. It also lets you capture or trace through a transaction trace, and when it made a web service call out to one of those other tiers, you could just follow it right through and drill down to where the root problem was. We also launched some really great Java improvements a few times throughout the year. We did some really nice JMX capabilities that captured HTTP session information, so you could actually see your Tomcat sessions over time. Thread pools, we're probably going to be doing quite a bit more. This graph is a little boring, but it's showing you the memory usage as well for the JVM. But we didn't stop there. We did additional Spring enhancements. So if you're using Spring, you should be seeing in the latest versions of our Java agent quite a bit more information that we're able to automatically discover for you. And then lastly, the one I was really excited about was support for the Play framework. So if you've heard of this, you might have heard of Scala, pretty hot new framework that's come out in the last couple of years. LinkedIn is actually standardizing quite a bit on using Play and Scala. And we wanted to make sure that we could totally support that environment. So in effect, we actually added a whole nother language into our Java support by adding Play because we needed to support the Scala applications as well. And the last thing I want to say, let's see if this clicks over, maybe not. I'm afraid to click it twice, but was that we didn't want to just add features that were, oh, actually there was one more. Platform, of course, can't forget that. That was one of our biggest releases this year. Lou mentioned that already. We did mobile and then platform. That came out just a couple months ago, and it basically allows you to pull in lots of additional component data besides the core application data that we've already been collecting, and I can speak to that a little bit more. And then lastly, we just wanted to make sure that we weren't forgetting that we have a large number of customers, including a lot of free customers. And we love our free customers. And we heard loud and clear that they weren't getting the full value that they wanted. Even if they're not paying us anything, we want to democratize APM. And one of the things we knew we needed to do was give them more capabilities around alerting. So we were really happy to launch that. And overnight, all of these customers got a lot more capability out of their product, and they were really excited about that, and we were excited about that. And it was one of the first things that I looked at as coming into the team just about a year ago and working through all of these different features was that the executive team at New Relic isn't afraid to push the boundaries. You know, a more conservative, risk-averse organization and culture might say, you know, can we really afford to give those free customers this capability? Then the value that we're selling on the higher end isn't going to be there. But we knew it was the right thing. We knew everybody needs to know when their website's having problems. And so we went ahead and we did it, and it's worked out great. And we hope that if you're one of our free customers, that you've enjoyed it too. Yeah. Pull my mic back. Is that better? It's my beard. All right. So what we produced in the last year was 9 really amazing launches and lots of smaller ones in between. We release 3 times a day. And so we're always pushing out new capabilities into the product. You've probably bumped across it at times, seeing, oh, where did that show up? Well, it showed up at 1 p.m. in our 1 p.m. deploy. But as I looked back, to me, it felt like a really amazing year that we had done. We'd put out a lot of great products. I was involved in all of these. It was a lot of fun. And so as I was thinking about today, I was just really, really excited because, as Lou said, we launched, actually he said 11. We launched 10 more. I got to talk to him about that 11th one. But we actually one-upped ourselves. Basically, in a single event, we did more in this launch than we did all in the previous year. And it speaks to the acceleration that we're doing and the pace of innovation. And I want to walk you through some of those capabilities. You saw some of them from Lou today, so I'll skip over the ones that are a bit of a rehash. So of course, mobile. Really excited about mobile. We are treating mobile as a first-class environment. Application code that runs in a mobile environment is completely different than anything else that's out there. And we know that developers need to understand what's happening inside of those native mobile applications. And so what we did on our first release earlier this year is help you understand the connectivity between those applications and the back-end services that you're already running with New Relic. But what we're doing in the release this year is going way beyond that. And we're doing something that no other APM solution does, certainly nothing in the mobile space like this. We're actually automatically discovering how your code is written and looking at the view controllers and the activities in your iOS and Android applications and seeing how users interact with it and breaking down all of that performance information. I think you got a good feel for it in Lou's keynote this morning. It's really fun to click through and drill into certain threads and see how they work. This actual example, the loading of these images, we had a slower performing version that didn't use a thread pool and pulled down the images sequentially. And we could actually see in the trace how by adding the thread pool and pulling down up to 5 images concurrently, we caused the interaction time for the user to go from 10 seconds to 5 seconds. Those are the kinds of innovations that we've been doing already on the back end with all of your web applications and your SOAP services that power these native mobile applications. We're going to be giving you that capability directly in the native app. We also have some new ways to break down the OS and device and app versions that are deployed out there. You know, native apps is a messy world where people download and are running different versions. It's not something we're all used to in the browser. And so we need to make it easier for you to see what's happening out there. So in this example, you can see there is a sharp increase of iOS 7 customers right after iOS 7 became generally available. This is for our own application. So we're announcing it today. We're going to be releasing it very soon. It will be this quarter. We're really excited. If any of you are a mobile developer or know a mobile developer, please certainly get them in touch with us. We'd love to get their feedback as we wrap this product up. All right, Node. Not a lot needs to be said about Node. I think Lou covered most of that. I will say we have the only Node solution in this space that is capable of doing full transaction traces, just like the transaction traces our product does for Ruby, Python, PHP, Java, and .NET. That was a really hard problem, and we spent a lot of time working on it. Some of you may have been a beta user of ours, and we worked through it for over a year, and it was important, and it paid off. It was really important work, and we're glad that we finally are able to make this a GA product. Tracing through those callbacks in Node, this asynchronous nature of Node, the way that it executes these calls and then spins, calls them back at some moment in the future, actually makes it pretty difficult to trace through and present the information that we were showing you. And so we're really proud of that. Node, of course, is one of the fastest growing platforms today. This is a graph of NPM, the Node Package Manager, and it actually has tripled in number of projects in just over a year. So we knew that it was something that a lot of our customers were hungry for. We're glad to have it available. We have support for some of the top Node frameworks that are out there and libraries. MySQL is a no-brainer. We already support MySQL in almost all of our other environments. But we wanted to go further. We knew that a lot of Node customers use Mongo, so we made sure that we had that on day one. Express, as well as Restify, I don't have that up there, are both frameworks that we support out of the box, and those are the two most popular ways to write your Node apps. So we'll automatically discover the way you've matched your callbacks and your functions in, say, Express to the URL patterns, and we'll present that data in a way that makes sense to you using those same URL patterns. And likewise with Redis, we added support for that because we know it's very popular amongst the Node community. We already have 700 customers using the GA or near GA version of this Node agent. And like Lou said, we're pretty confident that in the next 60 days, we're going to have by far the most active and vibrant Node community. We're really excited to make this available. Alerting. Lou covered that as well. Didn't go into it quite as deeply as I will here. I just want to share with you a few words, but also encourage you to go visit Bill Kaiser's talk on alerting. He will go even deeper if alerting is something you're really passionate about, and I believe that is tomorrow. But alerting was something that we have a lot of opinions about. New Relic is an opinionated company. And we have been there, I'm sure like you, where you're getting woken up in the middle of the night for reasons that didn't matter. You didn't need to get pulled out of bed. And alert fatigue is actually one of the biggest problems that we're seeing out there in the industry, where people are just becoming numb to this deluge of emails and beeps and noises coming from their alerting systems. And so we've always sort of tended more towards trying to only alert you when there's something that's very actionable. And I think we've done a pretty good job on that. But we did recognize there were some things that customers wanted that we couldn't provide until today. So for example, we've made it easier to control all of the conditions on which to alert and who to alert or how to alert them through third-party partnerships like PagerDuty and HipChat, all in one place where it's really easy to manage and easy to understand. So that when you are controlling and dealing with hundreds of servers or dozens of applications, you don't have to click through and jump into each little one. We also added downtime alerting. We had that for applications via our availability monitor, but we didn't actually have that for our server monitoring, and that's available now today as well. And we also added the ability to control the duration or the lag time in which the condition triggers. And so that basically gives you more flexibility if you're interested in it or your application is unique and doesn't work with the defaults we suggest, to control how long that condition needs to be in an error state or a caution state before we go back and actually trigger the alert. So for example, if you know that every night you have a CPU spike that takes 6 minutes, well, a 5-minute duration may not be the right thing for you because then you'll just get that annoying email every night at 12:01. Well, why not set it to 10 minutes? And now you know that that alert policy is configured for your environment. We also made it a lot easier to trace the source of where these alerts are coming from. So we heard from customers, it was kind of confusing when they were getting an email. They didn't know why they were getting it or what application. We've made that really, really clear. You can go into the UI and you can look at your email address, or you can look at your HipChat integration, and you can see which alert policies it's associated with, and in one click, just pull them right out of there. Yep, there it goes. Well, we also made it easier to organize your teams with notification groups, so you can create a collection of emails and PagerDuty integrations and HipChat group or chat rooms. And we pulled that all into a single thing called a notification group, which you can then go and put into individual policies, just making it a little easier. And it's launching today for our new customers. So any new customer that signs up, we will be upgrading our existing customers over the next 30 days. And if you'd like to try it out sooner, just come find one of us at the office hours or the Hacker Lounge or just anywhere, and we can get you in touch with support who can upgrade you right away. All right, so moving along, analytics. Lou gave a great demo of this, so I don't think I need to cover it much, and I want to make sure we all get to lunch on time, so I'm going to try to rush through some more of these. But the important thing I'll say about analytics, and in particular the histograms and percentiles feature that we launched today, is that it's actually built on top of the same technology stack that we built for the Rubicon project. And the reason I want to stress that is it gives us the capability to do so much more than just histograms and percentiles. This is just the beginning. We're certainly going to be doing a lot, as Lou showed you with that great demo of Rubicon, to answer questions about your application that aren't performance related. But we are absolutely committed to continuing to answer performance-related questions in new ways with new dimensions, and this data storage is going to make a big, big difference for that. It's available for all of your apps with browser data, and you can upgrade your agent to get it for your backend transactions. Lou didn't show this in the demo this morning, and I think it's a great feature. We allow you to scrub through time and see the histogram and see how the shape takes effect. So for example, when you're having a problem, say your checkout controller needs to go and talk to UPS's web service, and UPS is delayed or lagging by 5 or 10 seconds, you'll actually see that histogram cluster shift and move over as you scrub through time. Gives you a whole new perspective to that data. Of course, we're also launching percentiles. You saw those, and the drill-in capability to really understand what's contributing to those different buckets in the histograms. The new iPad app The only thing I'll say about this, Lou did a great job this morning showing it off. The overview screen is great. We had this iPhone app for quite some time, or for a few months at least, and we were really excited about it, but I wanted, almost right away, I wanted to see it on my iPad. And it was making me sad every time to see that little 2x thing because it wasn't a native app or a universal app. So I was encouraging the team to build this iPad app, but we didn't want to just port it directly over. That would be kind of boring. So we made a special attention to taking advantage of that whole screen. And one of the things we did that was really nice was this synchronized scrubbing, where as you go through any one of those graphs, the other graphs move with it. So it allows you to easily see the correlation. And it's just a lot of fun to work with. So as you're debugging an issue or working through a problem, you can see several graphs all in one screen and swipe through them very, very quickly. We also introduced a whole new dashboard that, in fact, is innovating in ways that our web interface hasn't done yet. And we're going to be taking cues from this and bringing it to the web interface at some point, too. We show you all of the things, not just your applications or servers or anything else. We show all of them in one screen, allow you to pick which ones are your favorites, and make it really easy to see if there's any problems with simple color coding. But even more fun is you can expand or contract the density of the information we're showing. So if you need to see a little bit more right there, but without leaving that screen, you just swipe it open, and each of those tiles gets a little bigger, and we show you nice graphs right in line. Or if you want to see more high-level status of things, you just squeeze them shut, and you get more and more applications and servers. It's a lot of fun. And these pictures, by the way, they're from a really fun little ad we put together. Go to newrelic.com/mobility, and we got this fun video of this guy showing how he uses the iPad app and iPhone app. So that's that. All right, X-ray sessions. Let's move on to some of the things Lou didn't talk about this morning. Today, available for Ruby and Java as well. So we had it in Python earlier this year. There's not a lot more to say about it. It's a fantastic feature. Gives you a great level of visibility that you really can't get in any other product. And if you're on Ruby or you're on Java, just upgrade to the latest agent and you've got it immediately. It's a great feature. We also are launching .NET Thread Profiler. When I joined the company just over a year ago, we had a thread profiler in one language, in Java. And it was great. It's the only API. It's the only APM product that can do an on-demand thread profile of a production environment and do it in a low overhead way. It's a really great product. Along the way, we launched it for Ruby and Python and now .NET as well. So the fact that we're doing it on 4 languages and it's really not in anywhere else is pretty impressive. Something that might interest a few of you if you've got apps written in other languages that we don't support is this beta we're launching today as well. It's an agent SDK. And basically, we realize that there are languages that, of the 6 that we support, there are other languages that are specialized for certain needs. And while we may go offer support for them as time goes on, because as you've seen with our track record, we're committed to expanding our presence in all of these different environments, there may be some that we don't support today or we may never support due to various circumstances. But we wanted to make it possible for developers to extend our platform and bring in information if they were willing to do the work. We showed that commitment with the platform launch earlier this year, and this is an extension of that initiative. This is a small C library that allows you to report data and have it appear just like any other application in the New Relic environment. It's not a plugin, and it's not any custom metrics. It's a first-class application. And so today, you'll be able to use the C library and send in the application name, the status of the application, the individual web transactions, and their end-to-end response time. As time goes on, our team's going to keep adding more and more capabilities to it. So in the future, you can expect to see closer and closer parity with the language agents that we support out of the box. Of course, launched these great new platform improvements. And the first thing I just want to say is, with over 70 plugins, it's important for us to say thank you. I know we've got several plugin authors here at the conference today that we never had dreamed would be created. In fact, our goal for the end of the year was half this number, and we've already doubled it before the year's over. We're really, really happy, and we couldn't have done it without our partners and our customers. We have one customer who I believe created 7 different plugins to scratch all the itches he had, and we couldn't be more thrilled with that. But we aren't going to stop just there. We're adding private publishing today. So if you want to write a plugin that's specific to your environment, not appropriate to be out in our plugin store, you're welcome to go ahead and do that and just keep it private to your account. We're also adding comments and ratings so that you can give feedback to the plugin authors with votes and with actual text feedback. And the plugin authors can actually subscribe to those comments and get them in an RSS feed, so they'll get them right away. And today we're also announcing initial support for Chef and Puppet by having Chef recipes, for example, for some of the most popular plugins like our MySQL plugin and our AWS plugin, make it even easier to get it out there. And we're committed to continuing that for Puppet and for more and more of our platforms. We want to make it easier than ever to get these plugins running. And lastly, of the things we're launching today that I'm talking about, and of course we may have already launched another feature before the day is over, is our new Web Services API, our new REST API. We've heard from our customers that our Web Services APIs were a little confusing to work with. The documentation wasn't quite right. And so we wanted to get this right and just absolutely nail it and build something that was built for you and that would be a joy to work with. And so if you go to our API docs today, you'll find something that looks like this, and it's really, really great to work with. It's an interactive site that lets you explore the API and run the web requests right inside your browser and see the results. We go ahead and we give you a curl command, so it's not a mystery to you how we generated the query. You can just paste it right into your console. It's really going to be the future of all the web services we offer for our customers, and you can expect to see our partner APIs and our platform APIs go onto this new platform. So with that, and I'm going to kind of rush through some of these, so I would encourage you to find other New Relic employees and ask us more about our roadmap. We've got 6 product managers here at the conference, and so come talk to us about things you'd like to see. But I want to just briefly spend 1 minute here on what we're looking forward to do in the next year, so that at the next FutureStack, we're launching 20 new features and one-upping ourselves continually. So first of all, we're going to keep focusing on alerting. We know there's a lot more we can do. We're going to be launching these alert policies for mobile devices and plugins. We're going to be looking at things like anomaly detection and baselines, maintenance windows. Those are all great new features that you'll expect over the coming year or so. We're also treating the browser with a little more respect. As you heard from Lou, we've got over 1 million websites that are running our RUM JavaScript monitoring capability. And that's awesome. But we know that developers are evolving and that people are looking at more than just the page view now. If you're writing an app in AngularJS or Ember.js, there's information that you'd like to have that we're not giving you today. And so we really want to treat applications, rich applications in the browser, as a first-class citizen, just like we do with mobile, and give you a ton more capability. And we're starting with that today. This might be the 11th Lou was alluding to, is a initial beta of JavaScript errors. It's opt-in, and we're looking for people who are interested in seeing this kind of information. And so come find a product manager, find me, and we will get you opted into this service, and you can see graphs like this. In this particular case, you can see a large spike after a deploy that caused a bunch of JavaScript errors for a particular browser. This is something we saw with one of our customers. This is just the beginning. We're going to be doing a ton more over the next year. Live instrumentation. Basically, we want to make it possible for you to put new probes right inside of your application without changing the source code and without restarting your application. It's going to be especially important as you think about what is possible with Rubicon and you want to get answers to questions. Well, you might need to go and pull out that shopping cart variable so that you know what the price of that shopping cart was. We're going to make it possible for you to do without restarting and without changing the app. It's going to increase that cycle for question and answer down to minutes instead of days, hours, or weeks. Caching, queuing, NoSQL, these are all things we have plugins for, but we want to make it easier to pull that information right inside the application and blend it together. You know, cache rates, right? Hit and miss. Those are really nice to know, but the cost of the miss is especially important when you have to go and make that trip to the database and do that expensive lookup. And we can only know that by being inside the application. So it's a great opportunity for us to mash up what's happening in the app with the external systems that plugins are reporting into. So we're going to see some really great stuff there. Online community. we are going to be doing a lot more with bringing all of you together. We started with our plugins. It's been a great development, and people are building plugins on their own. We are really excited about what happens when we get a bunch of you in a virtual room and you start talking about all the new great plugins you can build together. We're also going to be using it as another channel for support. So if you want to get a question and you don't want to email someone in, you just want to find the answer in Google search results, it'll be a lot easier to do with our online community. Enterprise integrations, we know we're a SaaS service, and sometimes it's hard to reach through the firewall and integrate into, say, Jira, or if you've got it installed behind the firewall. We're going to make that a lot easier as well. And of course, an Android app, we're not going to leave those Android users hanging. Traceability, I mentioned the caches and plugins and queuing and NoSQL. This is all centered around understanding how those plugins map to your overall environment. So that map I showed you before with the cross-application tracing, imagine if we can start tracing out to all the different plugins you've got data reporting into. There's a lot of great opportunities there. We're going to be making some great improvements to the custom dashboards in the coming months, so look out for that. And of course, we're going to be launching some brand new products. This year we launched one new product, mobile APM. You can expect at least 2 more next year. They're going to be very complementary to what we do and really, really nice, and continuing the theme of New Relic and our focus on building great software. So look out for those. And lastly, of course, all of this in the backdrop is going to be with software analytics. Everything we do is going to be making it easier and easier, whether it's performance data or business data, understanding what's happening inside of your app. So we're really excited about it. Thank you for coming. If you've got any questions, come find us and we can chat about it. Thanks so much.